Happy Halloween, you guys. I am so excited for our Halloween party at youth group this week on Thursday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Don't forget to register for it because we're going to have so much fun. We're going to be doing a costume contest. We're going to be doing a fashion parade, and our small groups are going to compete in a pumpkin decorating contest. I am so excited. Now, this week, I was thinking about how Jesus often used just everyday objects, things like farming and baking, to teach people a lesson, to try to get a point across to the people who are following him and he was teaching. And so I'm taking a cue from Jesus's book and I'm going to do a little pumpkin parable. So we are actually, in my opinion, kind of like pumpkins trying to be jack-o'-lanterns. And let me show you what I mean. When you go to carve a pumpkin, what's the first thing you do? Well, you have to cut off the top, right? So you get your little tool and you cut around and you're able to cut off the top of the pumpkin. And then you have to get a really good spoon. This is an awesome spoon with a sharp edge. And you have to go and you have to start scraping all the nasty stuff on the inside, right? Now, a pumpkin always has this stuff. You can't get rid of it. You have to go in and scrape it out. And it's disgusting and slimy and sticky, and it literally makes a mess. But you see, in the same way, every single one of us, we have something similar on the inside of us. No, I'm not talking about guts. I'm talking about sin. Every single one of us, no matter how hard we try, we cannot get rid of the sin on our own. We can't stop sinning. We struggle with it. Now, what is sin? Sin is missing the mark, right? You sin against God, you sin against other people, and we do it all the time. And no matter what we do, we cannot get this stuff out ourselves. And that's why we need Jesus. Jesus said he came to the earth to die on the cross for our sins. He literally said, I will come and I will clean your heart. I will help you. I will pay the penalty of your sin, and I will help you with your sin. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that when we choose to follow Jesus, we stop struggling with sin. We do still struggle with sin. So if you struggle, you're not weird. You're just a normal person. However, Jesus says that when we choose to put our trust in him, he helps clean our hearts, and he pays the penalty of our sin. So we no longer are enslaved to our sin. It's no longer holding us down anymore, right? Now, after you're done carving out the inside of the pumpkin, what do we have to do, right? We have to go in and you start cutting out this face or a design or something, right? And here's the cool thing. Jesus not only says that he comes to the earth, dies on the cross for us, and takes the penalty of our sin and helps to clean out our sin and clean our hearts, but he also says that we become a new creation in him. That just like you might carve out a face of a pumpkin, God also sees us as his handiwork, and he forms us. He actually changes us and grows us, and we become a new creation. It's like we're born again in a new way. Now, here's something I always thought was really interesting. The inside nasty stuff of a pumpkin, it's so gross, and you often just want to throw it away. But if you take the time to pick through that inside pulp stuff, what do you find? Seeds. And you can actually season the seeds and put them in the oven, and then they're like this baked, delicious snack. Well, here's the cool thing. In the same way, God actually, he doesn't like our sin. He doesn't like to see us struggle, but he can actually use the things that we struggle with to grow us, to change us, to even to help other people. In fact, he sees those things and he can use it for good. He doesn't waste anything. He's literally like the best recycler in the history of mankind. It's pretty awesome how God doesn't waste a thing. So here's our pumpkin. We took the top off. We got all the nasty stuff out from the inside. I do have some stray seeds here. But then what do? Oh, well, you usually put a light inside, right? You take a candle and you might light it, and then you stick it on the inside of the pumpkin, right? And that way you can stick it on your porch, right? You can light up the whole neighborhood with your pumpkin. And you might stick the lid back on, right? And now it's this really cool pumpkin that has a candle and it lights up for everybody. Well, here's the cool thing about God. God not only comes and cleans out our sin, he came and he died on a cross for us. He took this penalty of sin and he takes it upon himself and he cleans out our sin, cleans our hearts. And not only does he do that, but then he makes us into this new creation. But then he says that then he gives us his light to then go and give light to other people. Literally, he says that When you accept him, when you choose to follow him, he takes your sin from you. He takes the penalty of sin. He makes you into a new creation, and he loves you enough that he doesn't leave you where you're at, but changes you and grows you. And then the awesome part is, then he uses you to spread his love and light to other people. Literally, you can do this by sharing about how God has changed you, to share with other people how God has worked in your life, the ways that you've struggled, but the way that maybe God has used those struggles to help other people, or how it's grown you, or to just be kind and loving towards others, no matter who they are to you and in the world. You see, it's kind of cool to think about how many of us, we've been changed, just like this little pumpkin has been changed into a jack-o'-lantern. So this Halloween, as you're seeing pumpkins and celebrating Halloween, don't forget the power of who God is, of how he literally can make us into new creation. We're just supposed to submit to him, turn to him, trust him, and follow him. And who knows, maybe God can use us in an amazing way. So happy Halloween, you guys. I hope you guys have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you Thursday.